Hey, Terry Bain, Business Growth Time. We got a great episode today. With me, as always, my good friend, high school pal, the lovely, talented Janet E. Johnson, where today the E stands for funnels. Wait a second. Well, it does. It does. It just
Well,
stands for funnels. E,
really close to an
right,
E. Must
like
be
right
that
next to each
modern
other.
alphabet.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a Sesame Street thing, I think people would be upset. But we're not on Sesame Street.
You
We're
just
in your
erase the
earphone.
bottom or add. Wait, yeah, you erase the bottom line. There you go.
Yeah, capital F, capital E, very, very similar. Just really a matter of how many
Yeah.
prongs. They're basically twins. Let's just call them twins. And honestly, if you look at your grades, if you got an E or an F, didn't matter, still failed, right?
We
So
don't even have an E with grades.
I don't think they have Fs. I don't even know. I don't even know how
Oh,
that
I
works.
know they have F's when I have children. Yeah.
Oh, nice save. Way to say it was your children who got Fs, not you. Clearly, not Janet
To be
E.
honest,
Johnson.
never had an F in my entire life. Thank you.
Janet had E's. She didn't get F's.
Yep, exactly.
Very fancy.
Special for me.
All right. So funnels. What the heck's a funnel, Janet E. Johnson?
Ah, so what's your thought on what a funnel could be? And we're talking here online marketing. So
Digital marketing online.
yeah,
On the
exactly.
webs. Okay, so nothing to do with putting oil in my car or my lawnmower.
No,
Not that kind of funnel.
no,
Or
we're not
our
following.
boat. We have a funnel for that.
Yeah,
I don't use the funnel for the boat. Do you use a funnel for the boat? Just the one that comes on the gas can.
I have no idea. I don't do
You're
that
not,
kind of stuff.
you're not- There's gas in the boat. That's all that matters to Janet E. Johnson. I like that. Your husband's a good man. All right. So funnels to me are kind of this like place where you go and you collect leads and opportunities. And if you're doing it right, you have multiple funnels. So you're getting people that are going to be following you or interested in your
Mhm.
product or opportunity or what have you. And you're setting them up in different ways and you're testing it constantly and you're seeing what works and you just keep putting people in the funnel because like any good sales opportunity, you know that the more people that you put in the top of the funnel, the more people come out at the bottom of the funnel. Top of the funnel is where their
Top of the
prospects.
funnel is wide. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. And then you narrow it down as you go towards the sale conversion.
and at the bottom of the funnel are sales, right? And those are people that are giving you money. So the more people you put in top, the more people hopefully come out the bottom. So,
Exactly.
but that's a fairly high level definition.
Yep.
So let's talk about this specifically with some ideas on how our earnings can actually leverage a funnel.
Implement a funnel. Yeah.
Implement, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because you're deep in this now.
I am deep. Yeah. I have been doing funnels constantly. I mean, that's like my world right now is just funnel for different things. Now I have a funnel, for instance, for email building, an email list. We just did a webinar, so we had a funnel created for the webinar. I just launched a campaign that I used a funnel to bring in new clients. So I build funnels for all the clients that I work with that I'm doing Facebook ads for, because you need to have some sort of funnel built. And like you said, the more people that you get in, the better off you are. But it's not as broad with Facebook ads because you can narrow down that top of funnel quite a bit just by targeting to the right audience. So that's part of the top of funnel. And there's so many different ways that you can do it, but let's just give some ideas. And I'll just talk about some of the ways that I've done some specific ones lately. And maybe everybody needs to change their funnel depending on the end goal. And there's different pieces that you need and don't need. But the basic one is where you bring them to a landing page. So for instance, you would create an ad, some kind of ad towards an offer. So let's just say this is an email. We want to build an email list. So you would first create the ad, which is going to target the top of the funnel. This is going to bring in those leads, but you're targeting a very specific audience. And the ad could be a video, it could be a graphic, It could be either way. Whenever I run an ad, I test both just to see how it works. Or what I taught on the webinar last night is starting at that top of funnel by doing a video, getting those video views, and we've talked about that a lot too, and then retargeting those video viewers with an offer of some sort. So that's one option to do it, or you could just start at the top of the funnel and go direct.
So let me try and break this down a little bit and make sure I understand it. So hopefully Ernie understands it. So initially, you have this idea who you think is going to be a target client, right? And who you want to be paying attention to whatever information you're putting out. And so you either throw a graphic out in the space or you throw a video out in the space that kind of describes what you're doing. And then you get some hand raisers, or in Facebook's case, some thumb raisers that give you a like. And then you have the ability to take those likes, right? Because they've seen a smidgen of the content or the information that you want them to. They've agreed that they like it, thumbs up. And now you can put more advertising in front of them, or more marketing. Okay,
no. The only way you're going to be able to put more marketing in front of somebody is by a video view.
Okay.
They do have new Facebook engagement. I haven't played with that too much. It's so brand new, and most people don't even have it yet. Engagement on your page too, so that might be able to be an option.
Wait. Do you have that, but you don't have memories?
Exactly. Yeah. Don't get me on that one.
On this day in Janet's history, nothing happened. Nothing. For years and years. Janet's been on Facebook forever, has no proof at all.
It's really annoying. Unless I go manually back, So backing that up though, so talking about top funnel, they don't have to. If you do it with a video, you can retarget video viewers. But if you're just starting the top funnel with a graphic, you're going to want the link. So the second phase, you want a link that they can click through. So instead of worrying about the like on it, you want to worry about, okay, did they click this link? That's a click through. It's a conversion. It's not a conversion yet. It's just a click through. And they are going to click through to a landing page that you built. I use lead pages. There's ClickFunnels. You can build your own on your website, whatever it is that has that very specific offer and talks about the offer.
And a call to action, right? That gets them to do something next.
They have to put in, for this instance, let's use it as an email. So they need to enter their name and email to get I have a free content guide. I have a lot of free offers. A lot of people offer that type of thing for this. And my suggestion is, come up with something. It could be a free video series. It could be a number of things. But they have to enter their name and email. So that's the second phase. So you need to take the ad to a landing page. The landing page then, after they enter that email, they will go to a thank you page. And here's one of the things that I do with a lot of mine, not every one of them, but if they get taken to a thank you page, and on that thank you page, they get a special offer for my training program on that page. You can take them to a thank you page. It just says, thanks. Make sure you check your email, because a lot of our emails are double opt-ins now. And make sure you check your email to click the link so that you can receive the free guide. But in addition to that, I have added a sales pitch in my thank you page. Do people convert? More than likely not, but I have had a few convert to a sale just from that thank you page. So anywhere you can add in that opportunity, do for an extra sale. And then, obviously later on in the emails, they'll get the same potential offer, but this is the very first time they're opting in for something. And if you can offer something at a discounted rate, one-time offer, and you'll never see it again, that's even better because they're more likely to grab. And a lot of times this works better with like a $9 offer or something very inexpensive. And then that they're more likely, a lot of people, even though they don't necessarily know, haven't built a lot of trust yet with the email list, they might go, well, $9, that's nothing. I'll go ahead and grab it. Looks good. And it should relate to the offer.
And they kind of know it's coming, right? It's not like you're going to say, "Hey, I've got this content marketing guide," and they click and they go to the click through and they see the thank you page, and then it says, "If you give us your email, we're going to send you one lure for your fishing tackle box." Right? It's not going to be totally disjointed. They should line up to some extent.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yep. So for instance, mine is in the ultimate guide to social media content. This is one of them. And then when they go to the thank you page, then they can potentially purchase my social strategies 101 training program, which all relates to each other. So it makes sense.
Right.
Now, you do not have to do that upsell. It's just a cool way to do it. And it's a cool way to be able to maybe pay for building your leads on Facebook to pay for your ads. This is kind of the win-win of how you can run your ads almost for free. If you sell enough of these, then you just can funnel that back into your ad spend. So that's part of the reason that I do that. But if you don't want to, give them something on the thank you page whether, hey, why don't you head and like my Facebook page? Something, have them maybe do some other action step too. Then after that thank you page, and this can all be built inside of lead pages or ClickFunnels, where when you're setting it up, it says what page do you want to take them to, and you can create the page and then say take them to this thank you page. So it could all be done really, really quickly in that type of system.
Totally automated. You're not sending emails. You're not doing anything. The system's handling it.
Exactly. But now, in the back end, the next piece of the funnel is you need to have, the MailChimp, the Aweber, the autoresponder system, because this is putting them on an email list that actually needs one of those systems for it. So now what's going to happen is they're going to get an email with a link to the offer. So when you've created this offer in the first place, you need, if it happens to be a PDF, or a video series, even you could set up a video series within lead pages too. So, but you got to send them that link specifically. So you have to set that up previously. And then they will opt in, do the double opt-in, they'll click on that and boom, automatically they will get that email with what you promised them. And then I highly suggest you do more than one autoresponder set up in the system for building trust, building authority, teaching them, educating, and then, if you are selling a training program or your services, anything, you want to have that then built into the autoresponder system. But the first 3 emails should build the trust. So that's an email funnel. That's how I work my email funnels and how I've been taught to do the email funnels. Like I said, that upsell piece doesn't have to happen, but if you have a product that you can, I would highly suggest it.
And you're saying that product should be on a lower end monetarily, not necessarily in terms of value proposition, but at least cost. Even if it's something that you said, hey, this is normally $197, but for you today, those of you who take action, you can have it for $9.
Exactly.
All right. Even though that sounds a little bit ridiculous. Why would I sell you a $200 thing for $9? But I see these offers from time to time, right? And it's just to get it out there.
Well, and it could be something you've had in from the past that's older, and you just you don't mind selling that for $9 because you have your newer programs that are more expensive, and then you want to build to that. This isn't somebody that's going to buy a few $1,000 coaching program from you. It's somebody that you're going to learn to build the trust with to build to potentially buying a $2,000 coaching program, or a $5,000 of or be an ongoing client. I mean, there's so many different, I'm talking to a lot of different types of businesses and a lot of earnings out there, but this is just the first phase in building the trust. Now, I have been building, and the webinar would work the same. It's pretty similar. I wouldn't put an upsell on the thank you page though. I would just put, a reminder. Because on the webinar, you're actually going to be selling. So.
You've got the upsell at the end of the webinar, right? So hey, in case you forgot what you just heard 8 seconds ago, let me slap you in the face with it again. Seems a little redundant.
Now, the difference with the webinar is after the fact of the webinar, you're going to do a retargeting. So you're going to want to send out more emails after the webinar to remind, like ours right now, we have 72 hours that people can watch the replay. And we have a special offer that they can take advantage of only within the next 72 hours. So it has to be within that 72 hours. So you can do a lot of emails after the fact, and then also retargeting ads. So you can actually take the email list of who was on the webinar, upload that to Facebook, and then put those ads specifically in front, or even just everyone that signed up for the webinar, all of them, you know, talking about don't miss the replay, 72 hours, get out, you know. So there's a follow-up piece with that a little bit more.
Interesting. So far we've talked about building an email list through Facebook advertising, and then we talked about which is a funnel, and then building a different funnel through webinars, which you probably use some level of Facebook advertising to promote and to grow that subscriber list to the webinar.
Yes. Yeah, and that will help build your email list too. So that's an option for building the email list. Depends on how big your email list is and how much your ad spend will be and all that. But yeah, I would always put Facebook ads in the mix with getting people to a webinar. Mm-hmm.
What if I wanted to do Facebook ads to promote my 60+ tip LinkedIn sheet white paper that I built? Does that seem odd? Hey, I'm going to use Facebook to build my LinkedIn tip sheet. Well, to build my email list, but as the giveaway.
I'm actually helping a gal with her LinkedIn webinar. She's launching next week, and we're doing it all with Facebook ads. I mean, Facebook ads is where it's at. I mean, granted, she was talking about, with the program, she wants to do a group, and she's like, I really prefer Facebook groups, but that just doesn't seem right when I'm selling a LinkedIn. So she's going to do a LinkedIn because it just wouldn't, But yeah, you don't want to be doing the ads on LinkedIn. It just, you dealt with that.
At least I didn't spend a lot of money, so I got that going for me.
Yeah,
I would have gladly spent way more money for anything. I didn't. I'm now holding a penny, and it wasn't worth this much. The results I get.
There's some big dogs on LinkedIn that you're competing against, and they're giving LinkedIn the money, the bigger companies that can afford it, and the little guys kind of get left aside. So Facebook doesn't have, they still have the big companies, but there's still room for the little guys. So let's go back to that. So you are trying to sell this, or is it a giveaway?
I would have used it potentially as a giveaway to grow my subscriber list. I'm just making up stuff as I go along.
No,
but
it makes sense. So you totally could give it away. That could be a white paper giveaway, and then on the back end you build the trust, and then you could potentially sell them something else, that's related to LinkedIn. Whether it's a coaching, whether it's a setting up a profile, whether it's, anything related to that, you can now build the trust and then sell afterwards. So yeah, that's just same thing as my content guide. Very, very similar. You could do the same thing.
Interesting. I could sell a LinkedIn audit and game plan, right? So here's the giveaway. Now go do all this stuff. And then I'll go through your profile, and you're going to tell me what you're doing and who you're targeting, and I'll audit your profile and tell you where you're missing and tell you what groups to be in and what kind of stuff you should post. And that could be the offer, right? And that could be, a couple of $100 for the whole thing. Or maybe I just give a part of that white paper, just the LinkedIn profile piece as the giveaway, and then go through the whole thing as a product. Oh, Janet E. Johnson. Wouldn't that be cute?
Lots of things, and I hope Ernie is getting a lot of things going through their head too, because this is where the money is made. It is. It's definitely made doing funnels like this. You've got to build that trust factor in the front end and then convert later. And webinars are a faster way because you get them on a webinar for hour and a half, and you convert at the end. You have to have a high number. We were talking about the conversion. It's approximately 20% actually show up, and then approximately 10% convert to a purchase. So you got to remember this when you're building for that, because you got to have some numbers, but you also have to have you can't offer too big of a product either. Somebody's to convert to thousands of dollars in package on after a webinar is very difficult.
Well, and I want to make sure we're clear, right? 20% of the people that sign up actually show up for the webinar, and 10% of that 20%, not 10% of the people who signed up, but 10% of the people that show up. So it's basically less than 2% of people are actually writing money, giving you dollars.
Yes, except for the retargeting after the fact. We're talking about that's the conversion, and that's the typical.
That's conversion on the event, right?
Yeah.
Of the event.
Yep. But then there's the after the fact, piece of it too. So there, it can be very lucrative, and there's a lot of webinar programs out there, and webinars do work. So it's something to think about if you're not doing webinars. I think in the future I will be doing definitely more webinars. It's not something I've avoided it for a couple of years, and I think it's time to get back in the game with that. But it's a thought for everybody. And if you are doing webinars, you just kind of want to remember that, you need a lot of bodies, but you don't need a lot. You could have 20 show up. And if you have a decent offer, you can make some good money on it.
That's an interesting piece, right? And very good to know, because I think a lot of people think, well, if I don't have 200 people sitting in the audience, I don't even know. I don't even know where I'm going to get 200 people. Let's start with that. If I had 200 people, what technology would I use? Right? That's a whole different conversation.
Yep.
And quite frankly, we should make a note and have a show on how to put together a webinar, I suppose, now that you're the little webinar lady. And now it's like, how do I market it? How do I promote it? How do I get people to it? And, what do I offer them? I was having breakfast this morning with a good friend of mine who's a super smart marketing guy, used to do all the work for Jeep. He was the account manager for Jeep back in the day, and has built really cool companies. And we were talking about his new company where they do a lot of marketing research, right? And they're in that space. And he said that they bring people in and basically they contract different people that are smart in a specific area, and they build up the team for the project, and then everybody goes back and does their own thing. And when they need that specific knowledge again, they bring that person back in, and or you go to the next guy or whatever. And I said, that to me is going to be the future of work, right? For knowledge workers. And he stopped me and he said, knowledge workers? And I'm like, nah, dude, that's a thing. I didn't just make up the phrase knowledge workers, but it dawns on me that that's not a phrase that's thrown out willy-nilly or that you hear every day. But most of us that have a very specific skill set that's tied to what we have inside of our head, where we can deliver something and create something out of thin air, where the value proposition isn't something that we build that people can touch, it's knowledge that we share. That's kind of the space we're playing in. And so from our earnings perspective, what are you knowledgeable at? Where are you an expert? What are people paying you for? And how can you take that information, productize it, and sell it over and over and over and over and over again? Because honestly, the real space that you want to get into, we talked about multiple funnels. The only thing better than multiple funnels is multiple streams of income. And getting paid while you sleep is the ideal, right? I didn't do anything. That's where you become scalable, even if it's just you. My LinkedIn audit idea, that's a great idea, but I'm going to be exhausted, because if I'm the one selling the LinkedIn audit and I'm the one performing the LinkedIn audit, I'm stuck because there's only a finite amount of time that I can perform LinkedIn audits.
Well, that's why there's group coaching.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Through Zoom, which we're recording. That's where I'm doing a group coaching right now. You can have 10 people participate at the exact same time. So that's a thought, or, we've talked, Terry, a few times. I have my own platform for my training program, but there's the Udemy, setting it up on Udemy or some sort of platform like that. I know there's another one out there too, but something like that, if you can do that, that's scalable. And that's for the I think any business could do this. It's interesting because my husband's a contractor, and there's people out there doing that for contract. They teach how to be a contractor, or they teach how to build a roof, or it's how to build a roof. Is that right wording?
It is now. Ernie, pay no attention. She didn't just say her husband's a contractor. She doesn't really know much. She's been marketing construction for years now, has a roofing client. Shh, let her go. Let her go.
Decorating. That's great. But yeah, it's I think that's a great idea. So you got to figure out top of funnel, get them in the funnel, but you want to know your end all goal of where you really want them to go. Now, on the other side, I've also built that funnel that I launched recently was just to bring in clients and specific to Facebook ads. And it's pretty cool because this is a different way where it's more direct. And now I'm working with some other clients to bring in very, very direct leads. And how it works is you literally start with the similar thing where you start with an ad, take them to a landing page. The landing page talks about what you could do for them, but instead of just opting into an email list, we literally have book a call. Now, the book a call takes them to a schedule once is what I'm using. So schedule once, you can use Calendly. There's a few of them out there. It takes them there, and literally they can pick a time on my calendar. They need to enter all their information, and they then have a time on my calendar slot. Now, there's a third phase to this where they actually get emailed with a form that I'd like them to fill out that gives much more detail to me about their background and what kind of company it is, so that when I actually have the first phone call with them, I know a lot more about them.
Because you don't have to waste time on that call getting the background information that you could have just read in 5 minutes as opposed to talking about it for 20.
Exactly.
Because those initial consultations are normally a waste of time, because without doing the proper intake, right, or diagnosis of what the problem is, diagnosis of the history of the business and who they are and what they do and who they serve, right? And so, it makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Very important piece. Schedule once does get enough information where, it depends. I almost will talk with anyone just because some of them cannot afford my services. But like the first gal that I talked to, I knew she couldn't, even though she had filled out the form and I just knew she couldn't. But right away after we hung up the call, she went and bought my training program. So I have different things to offer, fortunately. So I can take on anybody versus, I don't have to wean them out ahead of time. So that's a funnel that I'm working on with a lot of clients right now. So if anybody's interested, I should give my link to go set up a time.
You should give your link, or you should just take a sip of your drink, whatever works best.
I know. So do you have a question on that, Terry, at all?
What's the link, Goofy?
I'm working on it.
Well, okay, sorry. So it's so easy to remember, you're looking it up. I got it.
Exactly. So I bet it is easy, but I just have so many links going on out there, I forget.
Well, it is schedule once, and then there's a bunch of stuff after that, I'm sure. So, sorry, I'll make fun of you for something else later. I'll let this one go. So I think the first question is, how long are those calls?
Mine are 30 minutes.
And do you find that adequate, or is it too long, or is it not enough?
No, and I don't have, I book 30 minutes, but I will take 45 if I need to. Honestly, the one that I did close for pretty decent amount of money, that's a bigger client, was a 15-minute call the first time, and then I need to look at their stuff, do more research, and then the second time we actually talk a little deeper.
Okay.
So that's kind of how this works with getting a larger client, because you need to, you have to put more time into it on the front end to, make you know what you're talking about. They don't know, like, and trust you yet, and you've got to build that trust with them.
So to some extent, that call, right, even though it's called an initial consultation, is really a qualifying call for both you and they, in that you're qualifying whether or not they have a need that you can solve, and they're qualifying whether or not you seem of the quality they want to work with and can solve their need, right?
Exactly.
Are you giving away information, and like to the point where if they had questions or concerns or thoughts, could they talk to you and be like, okay, cool, we're done? Or is it like that fine line where you're like, ooh, I could answer that, but I charge for that stuff and I don't really want to tell you?
Yeah, you got to be really careful with that. I think that's very important for Ernie to realize, that you've got to be careful with giving too much information and coaching and giving all your, because a lot of people in their sales calls will spew everything out. Hey, I was 100% guilty of that. I mean, back in the day, I used to just, I know this, and you could do this, and you could do this. And they just got like hours, hundreds of dollars worth of free consultation from me. And you need to be careful with that. Yeah, for sure.
I'm awesome. Dude, I'll give it away. Call me. Whatever you need.
Yep, but you want to give them enough. I mean, a little bit, some tips, where you see that they need the help. That's, I think, the most important piece. And, it's a rhythm that is a really, really cool funnel system that could work for any business, but you've got to be willing to put the ad spend in if you're going to do it through Facebook, because it's not super inexpensive. My leads are over $100 each, but you got to look at what your conversion is.
Your leads are $100 each. Okay, so that was going to be my next question. So
at a point I was actually at about $20 each, but it ranges. But we're happy with over $100. We're actually happy with 100 to 150. Depends on the business. Okay, think about a home builder. How much are you willing to pay? Look at the outcome. So that's what people think of.
Right. If your sale's $80,000 and it costs you $150 to get it, how much is your budget?
No complaining.
It's $47 million, right? You would spend every cent you could possibly to get that kind of return. So
exactly. So think about what's the end. What is that client worth to you? I'm working with a text marketing company now. Their end client, it makes them $33,000 a year and usually stays for 8 years. And think about it. Is that worth it? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say 33,000? Lied. 330 a month, so 3,600. But
8 years, so right. So still 150.
Even if they lasted 1 year, that would be well worth putting in $200, $300, $400 for that, as long as you're getting that ROI. It's all worth it. So it's something that I can go through the numbers with people and figure out, that's something that I've have been working on with a lot of clients.
I'd said a car dealership client for a couple of years, and that was the deal, right? He came in, I sat down, or I went to his office, sat down, he said, I spend $80,000 every month in advertising. I have no idea where 70% of it goes, right? No idea, not a clue, right? So $56,000 out the door monthly, no clue where it ends up. And then you think about it, but he was happy to spend the money because he knew something was working. He just didn't know what was working. And he's like, if I spent $1 and I made $1.50, I would spend that dollar hundreds of thousands of times, right? The budget is unlimited, right? Because it turns into money. It's if you could prove that out, then yay. And that's the problem with most marketers and most advertisers, right? We're kind of touchy-feely and we don't really understand the data and the analytics side, right? So we're not doing the proper tracking. We don't, and most businesses don't do a great job of saying, hey, how'd you hear about us or how'd you find us?
Yeah.
And if they even ask, they're certainly not adamant about getting the answer, right? So in marketing, we often don't get credit. And, you see our post 27 times, but all of a sudden you hear a commercial and you're like, oh, I came in because of the commercial. Well, the commercial wouldn't have meant shit to you if you didn't see the post 27 times before. But
Exactly.
that's part of the reason that integrated campaigns are so important.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So that's the model is, what are you going to get out of it? You need to look at that. So that was the last funnel we'll cover today. There's so many funnels out there, but once again, they all lead to some sort of landing page. You could do that on your website. You could do it with lead pages. If you're watching this and I'm an affiliate for lead pages, I will put that in the show notes of the blog post just so that you can, I suggested it. So give me a little kickback. That'd be great.
Look at Janet E. Johnson, man. Upselling. Get this girl a webinar, man. Stop. Love it. That's fantastic. All right, so let's recap.
All right. Well, first off, we do have my link. It's so easy. It's so funny that I didn't know it.
Oh my God, we have a link. I forgot. Thank you for bringing us back to that.
meetme.so/Janet E. Johnson. Real tough.
Meet me, MEETME.so/Janet E. Johnson. Hey, Janet E. Johnson, can you do us all a favor and not forget that again? That would be great. I know it came out of the blue and you probably weren't thinking about it. When I first moved to Minnesota, one of the first things someone said was, I asked them a question and they said, you asked me too fast. What? What does that even?
It's just Minnesota people for you, I guess. I don't know.
Let me ask you slow.
Slow down. Yeah.
I
like to speak fast, and
evidently that phrase "you asked me too quickly" was meant, or "you asked me too fast" meant it was on the tip of my tongue, and when you asked me, it made me think of it, and then I totally lost it. So I thought that was a dumb phrase, but it's when you're thinking of 87 things, and all of a sudden you have to focus on the one, it gets jumbled. So meetme.so/Janet E. Johnson,
and that is to set up that would actually be to set up a consultation if your business is interested in learning more about how to build these funnels and Facebook ads.
Funnels everywhere. Let's all go have a drink. So, all right, Ernie has to pick one funnel right now. What's the most cost effective? What's the going to have a decent return on investment? And what's going to be the easiest for them to start? What should they do?
It all depends on what their goals are. I mean, I do all these funnels myself. So it just, it depends on if they want to build, building an email list funnel. I think everybody needs that no matter what. So have that funnel going, because that doesn't have to just be with Facebook ads. You can have that funnel come from putting graphics on Pinterest, putting it on your website, putting it out there, so that funnel, you don't even necessarily have to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
So it just really depends on the goals.
So then the answer should have been schedule a time with you from meetme.so/Janet E. Johnson. Got it. Okay. Well, that makes it very easy, Ernie. Let's go do that. Let's figure out what funnels that you can build, and Janet may help you build them, or for a lot more money, Janet will allow you to buy her services to build them for you. And she will do a great job like she does for everybody. All right. I think this was fun. I think this was very funnily.
Oh, God. Oh, that was bad.
Sorry. I didn't work on that at all. That just came out, Janet E. Johnson. Shocker. So I think Ernie needs to come visit us on our Facebook page, and they can find us at businessgrowthtime.xyz. Forget that .com stuff. Unless, of course, you want to see past episodes, of which there are 70 plus, and you can find those at businessgrowthtime.com/podcast. And you can look at all of the cool guests and all the cool topics we've talked about that are designed to help you grow your business in a short period of time. And most of them are fun. I like not funnily. This one was the only funnily one. So, what
And
else?
last, we would love it if you would write us a review on our iTunes, because if you like what you heard on iTunes, you can find it easily. Get there by going to businessgrowthtime.com/iTunes.
All right, let's remember to say that at the beginning sometime. Let's try that. Just one.
You're right.
Yeah,
I know.
because
Filling all the stuff at the end.
all the stuff that really matters. We'll have to have like station identification at the top of the hour, right? Or at the bottom of the hour. All right. Well,
all right.
awesome stuff. Thank you, Janet E. Johnson. Well done. And we'll look forward to seeing you all real soon. Peace out.
Thanks.